Yes, I live in Columbus, Ohio with my wife, Laura. And you know what? I can't even believe that she ever gave me her phone number. And she married me. And she probably can't believe she gave me her number. And today is such a special treat because I get to go all over the country and speak to kids. And she hardly ever gets to come with me. But she came with me, and that's my wife, Laura. Stand up, Laura. And I have 3 kids. Brittany's going to be 24. Seth is going to be 20. And Ian is 5. Who's 5 here? Wow. The ones with all the energy, I see. Yes. Okay. So I thought, you know what we should do? Since we're friends now, I think that we should sing a song together. And I was thinking, well, what song can we sing that I think everybody here knows? Okay? So I have one picked out. You ready? Okay, are we all going to sing this, right? Okay. If you're happy and you know it, clap. That's what you guys were looking at. It's not my hair. Yes, I have one arm. But watch this. Stomp your feet. Ha ha. Now, how is it that somebody who is missing an arm is still happy? Isn't that awesome? And that's because we all have different things that we wish we had or that we could do better. Sometimes we wish that we could run faster or jump higher or have different hair or have different gifts and abilities. And we have the choice, all of us have the choice, to be sad about what we don't have. And I could sit in my room and just every day just say, I only have one arm. I should just sit here all day and feel sorry for myself. Or I could say, one arm and I'm so happy about what I have. And I have dancing legs. See that? I'm so happy about what I have that I don't have time to worry about the things that I don't have. And we all can make that choice. All of you, you could be happy for what you have. But I had to learn how to be that way. It wasn't always that way. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life. And I know that each one of you has probably even a better story than my story. I love hearing other people's stories about what they've gone through. But there's a huge, huge difference between you and me. Big difference. They gave me the microphone. I love this. Who knows what that says? Shout it. Limitless. But I have to tell you that there is somebody out there that will try to limit you sometimes. And that can absolutely limit you and can stop you from fulfilling your dream. Guess who that person is? It's you. You know, the only person that could stop me from doing what I love doing, the only person that could have stopped me was me. I could stop myself because of things that people tell me or things that happen. Now, I've only had one dream in my whole entire life, and it never changed. I wanted to be a keyboard player. I wanted to be a rock star. A rock star. Rock stars! That's like I'm from the 80s, that's what people did. And That's all I ever wanted to be. I'm surprised that worked in the morning. Dang. Whew. That was a risk. But what I thought was a rock star, when we think of a rock star, we think somebody who plays music all over the country on a tour bus, on an airplane, that they sign autographs, that they're on the radio, that they're on TV, that they make CDs. And I've had all of that. Now, a lot of rock stars make a lot of money. I've not had that. But all of the other things that you would think were rock star, I had. But I had to realize that being a true rock star has nothing to do with playing music. It has nothing to do with the fame and the fortune. It has everything to do with how we make other people feel in life. How do we take somebody's life and make it even just a little bit better? How do we put people and make other people more important than we make ourselves? A real rock star is somebody who smiles at the person who sometimes doesn't get smiled at, who plays with the person who sometimes has nobody to play with. That is rock star. And I had to learn how to be that person before I really could be a rock star. And I was born with two hands. Two hands with the dream to be a keyboard player, with the dream to be a rock star. At a very young age, I started playing the keyboards when I was 4 years old. Who has ever been 4 here? Okay, I see some of you went right from 3 to 5. That's pretty cool. And when I was 4 years old, I started playing this big organ that my parents had at home. It had wood grain sides, big keyboards. It was like not even cool at all. But I thought it was cool. And every day I would play it. And I could barely reach the bench. And I'd crawl up on it and I would play it. And when I was 6 or 7, my parents signed me up for keyboard lessons. And there was a lot of things I didn't understand at that age. I didn't understand a lot of things. One thing was, well, I'm taking lessons, and I know why I want to play songs, because that was awesome. They'd teach me how to play a song, and I'd go home, and I'd practice it, and now I knew a song. But I didn't know why I had to practice playing scales and practice all that stuff. Who plays an instrument here? Playing the song, that's really fun. Practicing, not so much. But it's something that we have to do because that's how we get better. But I didn't understand that then. And then I was learning things like sticks and stones will break our bones, but words will never hurt us. And I was going to school, and I noticed that there was separation. And I didn't understand it because to me, kids were just kids. But I noticed they were like the people that had all of the good clothes, all of their jokes were funny. They had the best hair. They always had kids to play with. They never had bad breath. They just had all of it, Now there was a boy I remember, Tony Yankee. He was in the cool group. In 3rd grade, and I'm not kidding, Tony Yankee had a mustache. He sure did. Okay? So he was the cool guy. But this group seemed to never hang out with this group. The ones that maybe were a little more shy, and they didn't always have people to play with, and they didn't have the best clothes, and their jokes weren't as funny as mine, and stuff like that. And then there were us kids that were in the middle. Now, my mom used to make clothes for me. So when I say she made clothes for me, they weren't cool clothes. And I one time saw this pattern at this fabric store. Has anybody ever gone to Joann Fabrics, or a place where they sell material for clothes? Yeah. Has anybody ever really enjoyed going to that store? A couple of you. I hated it because all you could look at was well, material to make clothes out of. But one day, I saw this material that I thought looked rock star. I just thought it looked cool. Now, it had every single color imaginable, every color, in every shape imaginable. So there were squiggly lines, and then there were triangles, and there were squares, and there were stars. And I'm pretty sure it was covered in glitter. And I thought, you know what, Mom? If you make me an outfit out of that, I'm going to be rock star. Rock star. She was so excited because, our moms, they love doing things for us. Our parents love doing things for us. So for the next couple weeks, she's making this outfit, and I kept trying it on and saying, oh, no, it has to be this, it has to be that, and I kept trying it. Finally, the outfit was ready. Okay? So let me explain what this looked like. The pants and the shirt were the same material, same pattern, okay? You didn't know where the pants stopped and the shirt began. Okay? I know that's already really cool, but there's also the matching jacket, okay? Collar stuck out to here, okay? Like, if the wind blew, I'm sure I'd probably be off the ground a little bit. But I was so proud of this outfit. And this was a long time ago, and I still remember what it felt like to be so cool. And it was ready for me. I used to walk to school, and I lived on a busy street. So I was walking to school. Actually, I didn't walk to school that day. I strutted to school that day, okay? So here's me walking down the road. And it was awesome because cars would slow down to take a look, They'd point and stuff. And I was so happy. I remember I sat down. I was like third grade. I sat down. Hey, ladies. And what you just did, everybody did. And I could laugh at that now, but man, I was so excited. And somebody said, look, Todd forgot to change out of his pajamas before coming to school today. And I was so hurt. I was so sad. Because that was the day that I was going to be noticed. That was the day that I was going to be in the cool club. None of my friends even weren't laughing. They were all laughing. Everybody was laughing at me. And it's okay to feel hurt when somebody tells us something that's hurtful. That's not something to be embarrassed about. What's wrong about it is when we stop doing things that we like because of what somebody else said. Because you know what? They were just joking around. They didn't mean to hurt my feelings. And today, those people, that person that said that, they don't even remember it happening because it didn't affect their life, but it affected my life. And so I do remember. And people will remember you when you're older. They're going to look back and say, boy, little Tommy or little Lisa, they hurt my feelings. I still remember what it feels like to be hurt like that all of these years later. Or they'll remember you as, boy, little Tommy, little Lisa, they were rock star. They were the only one that didn't laugh at me. They came up to me and said, Todd, it looks good. That's a rock star. That's what I want to be known as. And here's the thing with words. We have this awesome gift of communication. Isn't it awesome that we can talk to each other, or we can write somebody a note? We can do these things to communicate and to talk to somebody. But it is a really big responsibility. Wow. Our words, things that we say, can build somebody up, or they could tear somebody down with the same exact mouth. Now, here's the other thing. sometimes not saying certain words also helps somebody. Have you guys ever seen those big, fat bumblebees? Those things are crazy. Like, not just regular bees, but the ones that are like, they're so big. They're big and round. Now, if you look at a bird, right, their wings are really wide. Or if you look at how an airplane is, the wings are really wide, and their bodies are skinny. Now, helicopters are kind of wide, but they have a big propeller on the top that is much wider. Well, if you look at a bumblebee, their bodies are so big, but they have these little dinky wings, tiny. It makes no sense that they should be able to fly. How could that happen? Tiny wings, big body. Do you know why they fly? Why? They have faith. That is awesome. I love you guys. This is why they fly. Because nobody ever told them that they can't. Nobody ever told them that they can't fly. So you know what they do? They keep right on flying. So don't listen to people when they tell you you can't do something. And don't tell people that they can't do something. And you listen to your parents. Yes. So it's really important. So I'm still playing music. But I was really sad that somebody didn't like my outfit. And my mom, when I came home, I mean, picture this. Picture going home, and your mom is so excited. How did everybody like your outfit? How did they like it? And I'm crying, and I'm saying, I hate this outfit. They hated it. I'm never wearing it again, and I threw it away. That hurt her feelings. That hurt my feelings. All because somebody wanted to say something that wasn't nice, and I believed them. And I let what they said affect what I wanted and what I liked. And I decided that day that I never, ever, ever, ever wanted to be different again. I never wanted to be different because I was different that day. So this is what we're going to do. Since we're already like in a band together because we sang that song, remember? So we're like best friends forever. Most secrets you don't share with people, right? You have a secret, you don't share it. But since we're in a band together now, I'm going to share a secret with you, okay? You ready for this one? Being different is awesome. It's awesome to be different. It's a blessing to be different. And now I'm going to have you do something, but I have to have you say it and then be quiet right away because there's a lot still to talk about, okay? Look at somebody next to you and go like this. Say, you're different. But then, do this. Say, but that's cool because I'm different too. We're all different. That's what's awesome. That is what's so cool. So when you see somebody that might walk different than you, or that might be missing an arm, or that maybe doesn't like the same things as you, or maybe that has braces, or maybe that has glasses, or maybe that has freckles, or maybe that has anything. They're different than you, and you're different than them. But here's the secret. Ready? Again, being different is awesome. All right, what if everything tasted the same? So I love pizza. I love pizza. But if everything tasted like pizza, like imagine, man, you open your freezer and there's like the chocolate ice cream and you go to eat it. What if that tasted like pizza? I don't want my chocolate ice cream tasting like pepperoni pizza. So that's why it's so cool. So then I went into another school, okay? And what was cool about that was that in middle school, you could sign up for different clubs. You could sign up for different sports. Who plays sports here? Sports are cool, right? It's kind of the same thing as we talked about music, though. Playing the game is awesome. Practicing and running the drills, not so much. But you have to do it to get better. But you could sign up for sports, and I know that the other thing you noticed about me is that I am so muscular and tough. I know that you noticed that right away. So you know that I didn't play sports, right? Because it wouldn't be fair to the other kids. I mean, I'd wrestle the biggest kid in the world and I would win right away, and it wouldn't be fair to them. So I did what all the cool kids did, because by then I also grew my hair long because that was rock star, and I had like a jean jacket. In all my favorite bands, I had like patches of them. So what all of the cool long-haired dudes did, I signed up to play keyboards for the show choir. That's what all those guys did. That, and they were library aides. That's what they did. And so do you guys know what show choir is? It's basically people sing songs, like people you go to school with, and they dance to them, okay? Like a choir concert, but they dance and do all that stuff. Well, I was in the band that played the music for them. And the first day of practice, I remember walking in, and who was there but Tony Yankee, mustache, third grade man. I was going to jam with Tony Yankee. Ooh, it was cool. Tony Yankee. So I was so excited. And of course, Tony played guitar. You know, why wouldn't the coolest kid in school with the mustache, play guitar? He played guitar. And there is something so cool about guitarists. He put on his guitar, and it was almost like he was like this regular guy. He put on the guitar, and we weren't outside, and there weren't any fans blowing, but I think I saw his hair blowing. And like this red light and the fog rolled in. And I think all of a sudden his clothes turned into leather. Like, it was crazy when you put on a guitar what happens. And I had never seen somebody, other than on TV, had never seen somebody sound like a famous rock star. Like, the only people who could play guitar were famous. So I thought, well, you have to be famous to be able to do this. Well, he plugged in his guitar, and he's like, of course, look cool. He's like going to warm up a little bit. He's going to warm up. And all of a sudden, it's like... And I was like, you could do that? You're not even famous, and you could... Wait now. Tony, you're the same age as me. We went to the same school. If you could do that, I could do that, right? I mean, I just never thought I could do that, but now that I think that I can, I'm pretty sure I can. And I ran home. I couldn't wait to sound like Tony Yankee. Well, Tony, his voice was already way lower than most teachers in 7th grade. And he's like, Todd, I love you, but you're never going to sound like that because keyboards don't sound like guitars. I'm like, oh, yes, they do. I'll show you. So I couldn't wait to get home. I was going to sound like that, right? And I had the big organ at home, and I was so excited. And I had to turn it on and wait like 20 minutes for it to even make sound. And the ceiling fan I turned on so my hair would blow. And you know what baseball cards are, or football cards? You take all those out and you put them out because that's like the audience. That's like your crowd. And you're going to have this like awesome concert. And I used to always sit down to play with a big bench that held like sheet music. I moved that because now I was going to stand to play. There it was. And I sat down at the organ and I was ready to rock. Okay? I just knew it was going to happen. I went. Oh, they don't sound like guitars. It didn't sound like a guitar, so here's my obstacle. I had this dream to be a rock star, but all I had was this big organ at home. So I saved up for a keyboard. I got a paper route, and I delivered newspapers, and I finally had enough money to buy this keyboard. So it's Friday night, and I'm getting this keyboard the next day. Do you know what it's like when you're like excited about something? Oh man, you like can't even sit still, right? My neighbor came over and he said, "Todd, do you want to play catch with the football?" And I was so happy because I had so much energy. And when he threw me the football and I threw it back to him, as soon as I threw the football, did you ever break a tree branch? You ever hear that? Or if you're in the woods and you step on a branch, it's like crack. That's what it sounded like when I threw the football. And it felt like somebody was squeezing my arm as hard as they could. And I was like, oh, what is going on? And it ended up that my arm was broken. And it was really weird because the doctor was like, it shouldn't have broken from just throwing a football. Well, I was bummed out because then I had my arm in a cast. And who's ever broken a bone before? Man, you have to wear that cast for like ever, right? Like 6 weeks. And I had already waited so long to get this keyboard because it took me a long time to save up for it. And I was finally getting it, but I bought it the next day because I had my arm in a cast, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to play this thing for like 6 weeks, and I was so excited. But I got it anyway. Well, then Monday came, and I was in the hospital, and I didn't really understand why. I was 14 years old, and they started doing a bunch of tests, and then I spent the night in the hospital. I had never done that before, and then they ran more tests on my arm. Then I spent another night at the hospital, and they ran more tests on my arm. And then finally, I'm in the doctor's office, and my parents are there, and the doctor came in and said, I have to tell you something. Your arm broke because your bone was so sick. You have cancer. The bone in your arm has cancer. And that was a really weird word for me to hear. And I said, so what does that mean? What happens now? And the doctor said, look, if we don't take your arm off and your shoulder off right away, that cancer is going to go into your body. It may already have. But we just don't know. And my parents were so sad. This wasn't supposed to happen. I'm a keyboard player. I just got this keyboard. And I thought, my life is going to be a lot different. I mean, imagine sitting in bed knowing that the doctor was going to put you to sleep, and they used medicine to put you to sleep. I didn't feel anything. It didn't hurt. But knowing that I'm going to go to sleep as Todd Waites, two-handed Todd Waites, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and I'm going to be totally different. Totally. And you just think that. Well, check this out. Think of something in your mind, every single person here, think of something in your mind that you really like. It could be anything that you really like, okay? Now, take your arm, one of your arms, and put it behind your back. I bet you still like what you were thinking about. Man, I woke up the next day and I thought, wow, my cartwheels are going to be really bad. But then I thought, But I'm still the same person. I thought I'd wake up and be so different. Man, I was the same person because what's on the outside of us doesn't matter. It's what's in your heart. And I still wanted to be a keyboard player. I said, I'm going to keep doing this because here's what's cool. I never got to play the shiny new keyboard. You know, when you get something that's shiny and new, it's like your favorite toy. It's like your favorite thing. And I never got to play it, so it was still shiny new. So I played and played and played, and I was learning and learning and learning. And I remember this was like the 80s, and there was a lot of cool keyboard songs in the 80s. And there were some songs that I thought, if I learned how to play that song, I bet you I can learn others. And there's some like this. I learned that song. I thought, if I could learn that song, I can learn some other ones. And there was. And so I just kept practicing and kept practicing and kept practicing. And it was getting more and more exciting. And as I was learning to play, I started remembering all of the things that I didn't want to do when I was taking lessons, like the chords and the scales and the practice. I needed to know that stuff to teach myself how to play now with one hand. So I started playing in bands, and I was in a magazine called Keyboard Magazine. And it was so cool because that was a magazine that all of the keyboard players that I liked, they were in this magazine, and I was in it. Then has anybody ever heard of the band Bon Jovi? Their keyboardist cut off the tip of one of his fingers, and I got to teach him how to play without that finger. That was really cool. And now I get to go all over the country and even other parts of the world to tell the story about being nice to people. Now, I'm going to end with this. This is going to be pretty cool. You know, I was talking about how everybody is different, right? Everybody. All of us are different. But it doesn't mean that we can't all get along. It doesn't mean that if you think about your dream, everybody has a dream. What do you want to be when you grow up? Like I'm going to count to 3. Now, everybody to shout what they want to be when they grow up, what you dream of being, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. So you all want to be the same thing, right? So listen to this. Even though we all want to be something different, we're all going to grow up and become something, right? And even if that changes, you guys can all get along, right? The person who's going to be the policeman can get along with the person who wants to be a tennis player, right? And anything in between. Now, I think of a lot of things in music. I equate a lot of things in music and compare it to music. Now, if every single note on this keyboard were the same, that would be boring. This keyboard has so many different sounds. I could do banjo with it, but that banjo can be in the same song as a bass guitar. And that bass guitar can be in the same song as drums. And they all get along. So I wanted to create this music piece that shows that no matter what kind of instrument, no matter what even style of music, somebody that likes rap can get along with the church organist. And I wanted to show that and how that all can work into one song. So this is what I'm going to do. I recorded, this keyboard's cool because I recorded some drums and some bass, and then I'm going to play to it. And it's going to go through all kinds of different styles of music with all different kinds of sounds. But they're all going to get along. But here's the cool thing. The first part is kind of warm up. Gets me warmed up, gets you guys warmed up to stretch out, okay? Then it's going to be dance time. All right, but you got to pay attention because there's some weird changes. And what we're going to do is have all the adults are going to start first, and you get to watch them dance, okay? All right, we going to do this? All right, all the adults to your feet. Okay. Here we go. Okay, kids, get up. Ready? Here we go. Okay, surprise. Hold down. Okay, now we get to take it a little mellow. Okay, watch this. You know, when your mom makes you clothes, you want people to see the back, too. Every song needs more cowbell. Who's ready to rock? You guys rock! So, I explained what a rock star is. Somebody who's nice. Somebody who goes out of their way to make a difference in somebody else's life. Somebody that, even if they make somebody smile just one little bit, that's rock star. If you promise you're going to be a rock star, I want you to yell rock star when I count to 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I've always wanted a room of people calling me a rock star. Thank you. Now, can we do it the other way? Ready? We're going to do rock star. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. We're just about out of time. I could take a couple of questions.